Hello everyone, this is Jason White. Welcome to the highlights package for round 6 of our 1965 F1 series, coming to you from Zandvoort in the Netherlands. Sort of like a roller coaster ride through the sand dunes. There is the track map, 4.193 kilometers around, 80 laps, just like at Silverstone. But this is a circuit that's very different. Lots of fun to drive, but difficult to pass on. In fact, most, if not all, of the overtakes you'll see will happen in turn 1 at the top of the map there, Tarzan Corner. Let's take a look at the driver's points ahead of this race. Centorami in the lead with 22 points, David Wattman in second with 19, Juha Boss is in third with 16, Tim Hille and John Team tied for fourth with 14, and then Nicholas Kirsten in sixth with 11. The manufacturer's points, Ferrari in the lead with 28 points, Lotus Climax in second with 19, Brabham Climax in third with 18, BRM in fourth with 16, Cooper Climax in fifth with 14, and then Lotus BRM in sixth with 4 points. Here's the point scheme one more time. 9 points for a win, 6 points for second, 4 for third, 3 for fourth, 2 for fifth, and 1 for sixth. This is the last time that we won't have to worry about the dreaded drop scores. That's going to occur after we finish round number 7. Coming up at ISO, round 7 of this series, as I mentioned, and it is the German Grand Prix at the notorious Nürburgring, 14 miles around, up, down, left, right, so much of it blind, and so much of it you have to do from muscle memory. Sunday, April 5th, race starts at 2000 CEST. Trivia question for you to ponder. Which constructor holds the record for the most Dutch Grand Prix wins with 8? Is it A, Ferrari, B, Lotus, or is it C, McLaren? We'll have the answer for you later on in this highlights package. Alright, so let's take a look at the grid. On the pole is David Wattman in his Jim Clark Lotus with a time of 1 minute 26.498. He's in a very agile car, and that should be a good advantage to him on the Zandvoort circuit. Alongside David, and this is a 3-2-3-2 grid once again, Tim Hille in the first of the Ferraris, car number 24, North American Racing Team. He is 0.6 of a second back from David Wattman's pole winning time, and he's got lots of Ferrari horsepower behind him. We'll see how he does in the Dutch Grand Prix. Completing row number 1 is the first of the BRMs in the hands of our Belgian Grand Prix winner, Juha Boss. We'll see how these cars do on this circuit, but a good variety up front should make for an interesting start. Going to the next row of 2 cars, we have John Team in the first of the Cooper Climax entries, car number 9, another agile car that should do well on the sand dunes here at Zandvoort. Alongside John, we have the second BRM in the hands of David Saber. There he is, with the rowing club stripes of Graham Hill. 1 Lotus, 1 Ferrari, 1 Cooper, and 2 BRMs in the front 5. That is a very interesting mix. Going to the next row, we're greeted by Ruben Fernandez in the number 21 car, Lotus BRM of Reg Parnell Racing. He's qualified quite well throughout this series. It'd be nice to see him get a points-paying position before the series is over. And alongside Ruben, we have the first of the factory Ferraris, car number 1 in the hands of Richard Wilkes. Actually, probably good to mention right now, there are 2 notable absences in this race, Giovanni Centorami and Grant Riddall, and that's going to definitely figure into the points after this race. Next we have car number 10 in the hands of Cezary Ślepinski. He's a little less than 1.5 seconds back from the pole-winning time, but he's also driving a very capable car in the Cooper Climax. 9th and 10th feature Anders Nilsson in the number 44 RRC Walker Racing entry. We'll see how he does in this race. He's normally very fast, but he's handicapped a bit by the car that he's driving. And starting in 10th, we have Gabriel Del Piccolo, who has since moved over to the Brabham team, car number 10. So he's out of the privateer and into the factory Brabham here. We'll see how that affects his performance in the second half of this season. That's the top 10. Let's take a look at the rest of the grid. Nicholas Kirsten starts 11th. Ray Riddall starts 12th. Brian Janik starts in 13th, and then Adam Hackman in 14th in his privateer entry. 15th is Sam Smith, and 16th is Rob DeVries, both for Reg Parnell. Robin DeVos starting 17th in Centorami's Ferrari, and then you have Peter Hlavic in 18th place. August Watering in 19th, Jonathan Asserclinth in 20th for RRC Walker, yours truly in 21st for Reg Parnell, and Shel Stanbeck in 22nd for Andre Wicki. 23rd is Michael Drexler in the first Honda, Rob Swindells in 24th for Scuderia Centre Sud, Simon Wattman in 25th, and then Gerard Rion in 26th place. The last car to qualify was Jules Bouchard in 27th, and there were several cars added to the end of the grid. We're having 30 cars start this Dutch Grand Prix. All right, so everyone's lined up on the grid. On our left, you see David Wattman. In the middle, Tim Hillett. And on the right, Juha Boss. Everybody getting ready for the start. Engine revs building. And the race is underway. Looks like Tim Hillett gets away very well. But David Wattman may be coming up to challenge him on the inside here as they head towards Tarzan for the first time. Tim Hillett on the outside, and oh my goodness, they both go off the circuit onto the dirt, and look at that. John Team and the two BRMs streak through. Now that is not the start I was expecting. Here they are coming up to the second hairpin after Tarzan, and you can see David Wattman and Tim Hillett definitely fell back as a result of running into the dirt. Everybody looks to be in good trim. They were told to be careful on the start, and they have done so. There's John Team in the lead in his Cooper. Fantastic start from 4th up to 1st place. Of course, he was helped a bit by David and Tim Hillett running wide, but there he is, leading the two BRMs through the sand dune section. Very hilly through here. And you can see how this is pretty much a one-groove racetrack in a lot of cases. You wouldn't be able to run flat out with cars side by side through here, just not possible. They come through. There's Wattman and Richard Wilkes in his factory Ferrari. In fact, here is Richard Wilkes on board, and oh goodness, he misses the apex going into the final turn and hits the outside barrier, and that's the end for Richard Wilkes. Unfortunately, he didn't even complete one lap. That's too bad. Now we're on the same lap, and this is David Wattman. He's trying to claw back some of what he lost on the start, and that is Ruben Fernandez on his outside as they head to Tarzan, and there he is taking him quite simply on the inside. Although, wait a minute, let's see if he fights back. Fernandez fights back a little bit on the outside, but David has the lower line, and that's the better way to get around. Zandvoort is on the inside line pretty much everywhere. Lap number 3, and we're at the front with John Team, and that's Juha Boss pursuing him in 2nd place as they head out of the final turn and onto the main straight. And as I said before, this is where the bulk of the passing will take place. You get in the slipstream, and you're able to pull out and slingshot past the car that's in front of you. And here is Juha actually taking an outside pass into the corner. There you go. I think that's one of the few we'll see. He actually went around the outside using the slipstream. So now John Team is in a BRM sandwich. This is lap 4, following this same group again. And keep your eye on David Saber. He runs a bit wide, gets a tire on to the grass there and into the dirt, and he comes shooting across and hits the barrier on the right-hand side. And clearly the car is damaged. He's getting off onto the grass here. Very smart. He doesn't want to involve anybody else in his situation. But now he's got the problem of having to get across the track to the pit lane. He has to find a gap to go through. And it looks like he's gone to the inside now because he saw that, well, oh, no, he's still on the outside. He's going to wait for this train of cars to go by and then go to the inside. There you go. Very good, safe driving by David to make sure that his incident didn't involve anybody else. Unfortunately, that's going to take David all the way down to 28th. And a lap down, but he will hopefully recover. Now lap number 6. This is Schlapinski going to the inside here of Kirsten for 7th place. We're actually going into lap 6 here. Kirsten fights back on the outside. Schlapinski on the inside. It looks like he's going to get the overlap here. Actually, wait a minute. No, they're still side by side. But here I think Ślepinski finally gets the upper hand. Actually, he's in the wrong place to go through this corner. A little bit of contact there. But Ślepinski finally claims 7th place going up the hill. Now we're going into lap number 7. We're riding on board with Ray Radal, and just so everyone understands, Ray did not start with the correct car. So he has the number 5 Lotus. It's a duplicate. So here comes Ray blasting through these two cars here. He takes Nicholas Kirsten there first, and now he's after Ślepinski, just ahead of him. This is a battle for 7th place. Look at Kirsten there, still charging at the back of Ray Radal. Heading up into the sand dunes section once again. And it's going to take until they get to the end of the lap for Ray Radal to make his move. Again, it's a slipstreaming situation. Ray gets his car placed perfectly so he can get the tow. Now he's going to pull out and go by Ślepinski for 7th place as they get to the end here at Tarzan Corner. Lap number 8, and this is Ruben Fernandez running in 4th place. And he's being followed closely by Anders Nilsson, number 44. Anders uses the slipstream, pops out. See if he can get ahead of Ruben at the end of the straight here. Heading into Tarzan. Ruben actually fighting back a bit on the outside, but he slips a bit too high. And that's all it takes for Anders to get by and into 4th place. And now, on the same lap, here's David Watman challenging John Team for 2nd place on the inside. It looks like he's going to be able to get this done before they even get to Tarzan. Yeah, it looks like he already has the overlap, so David Watman back into 2nd place, his next target being Juha Boss. Also on lap 8, this is Ślepinski running in 8th place. Heading to the final corner here. Now watch very closely here. He actually clips the back end there of Ray Radal, and that's all it took to send him out of control and into the barrier. That's a very, very tricky corner, even without the contact. So very unfortunate for Ślepinski there. Now lap number 9, we're riding with Team, and here comes Anders Nilsson on the inside. This is for 3rd place. If you look just ahead there, there is a fantastic outside pass by David Watman taking Juha Boss for 1st. Great driving up there. Now lap number 11, we're with Team once again. He's going to the inside here, wants to take 3rd place back. Downshifting now, and there he gets the overlap. And back ahead, they're already starting the lap cars. Lap number 12, riding with Team, and here comes Nilsson back again for 3rd place. Team fighting back on the outside, but I think what happens there is he missed his braking zone. He was very lucky to not run into the fence. He just runs up into the dirt and lives to fight another day. I think Fernandez also slipped by him there. Yeah, now he's got Tim Hilla for close company, but thankfully, again, no contact with the fence. Lap number 13, we're riding with Ray Radal, and that is Nicholas Kirsten. This is a battle for 7th place. Kirsten gets underneath him there. Nifty little maneuver within the Tarzan corner. And a little later in the lap, here is Ray coming back with a vengeance on the outside on the main straight. Man, he had a full head of steam there. Gets right back by. Fades a little up into the gray, though, and here comes Kirsten right back by. So Tarzan's a lot of fun, but if you get too high into the corner, someone can slip underneath you easily. Ooh! Kirsten had a scary moment there in the dirt, because that can send the car going a different direction quickly. Lap number 22. This is Brian Janik heading down to Tarzan, but he brakes a little too late and into the fence he goes. And I can relate to how that feels because I had a similar incident very late in the race. Lap number 31. Looking at Juha Boss from Wattman's car. And this is for first. There goes Juha by in his BRM. Back into the lead. And on the same lap, this is Del Piccolo in his Brabham, but unfortunately, looks like he pushed it a little too hard, and that's me back there getting a face full of black smoke. Trying to pick my way through here, but yeah, too bad for Del Piccolo. He has to learn how to manage this new engine of his. Lap number 32, we are riding with Ruben Fernandez once again. And here he comes up the inside of Anders Nilsson. This is for third place, and he gets the job done. Nilsson tries to challenge on the inside, but not enough room to get alongside. Now lap number 34. And this is Hilla having designs on fourth place. As they come out of the turn here, he's got the Ferrari horsepower behind him, but slipstream doesn't hurt. He's placed the car right in the slipstream of Nilsson. He's going to pop out here. And just like that, he's gone up to fourth place. And look at this. Nilsson goes to the inside. Oh, contact! Between the left front and right rear of those two cars. Now lap number 35. Nilsson looking at Hilla and Fernandez here as they head through Tarzan. And oh my goodness, Fernandez gets up in the dirt there, and that's just enough to allow Nilsson by. And now Nilsson's looking at Hilla. Again, this is a battle for third. As they head up the hill here into the sand dune section. Following Hilla very closely here. This is kind of scary when you get up this close to a car, because if they bobble, even in the slightest bit, there could be contact. Nilsson staying right with Hilla as they go through the sand dunes. Both clipping the dirt there. You try to make that turn as broad as you possibly can so you can get through there quickly. Dangerous business, because if you're off just by a little bit, it can put you into the dirt on the opposite side. Now heading into the final corner, we'll see if Nilsson can get underneath Hilla here. Hilla forcing him to go to the outside here if he wants to take the position. There he goes. Charging down the main straight. And there goes Nilsson into third place as they enter Tarzan. Here comes Hilla back on the inside. And Nilsson running a bit into the dirt there, but thankfully doesn't lose control of the car, and he keeps the position. Great driving there. Lap number 38. This is Hilla looking at the rear of Nilsson. Coming out of the last turn, and he's going to try to take third place here. Looks like he may have popped out a little too soon. Yeah, he gets back behind Nilsson trying to get a bit more toe. Now he comes out again. He's going to just try a classic out-braking maneuver here. And there he goes. Oops. Nilsson gets a bit on the curb there, but no worse for wear. Lap number 39, this is August Watring in his new ride, coming down to Tarzan. And as he exits, that sound indicates something is definitely wrong in the engine department, and unfortunately August is out of the race. He'll be back. Lap number 40, this is Ray Radal, and he's running in 8th place. And he just gets it wrong on the entrance here to a corner, and boom, off go the tires. That's all it takes. If you don't brake at just the right moment on some of these turns, You're just skating across the track and into the fence. That's really too bad. Lap 44. Nilsson and Hilla are at it again. Heading into the final corner here. Again, look at how much Nilsson is sawing at the wheel there, but look at this. Actually, this is a situation where the car in front runs off track. Hilla getting onto the dirt, and that was just enough, as it has been in previous highlights, for someone to get by. Lap 47. Kirsten in 7th place. Now notice how he's trying to really clip the corners here. In this case, he clips a hay bale, I believe, and it sends him skyward. Again, thankfully, this is just a sim, but Kirsten out of the race. Lap 49. Nilsson once again in 3rd place, trying to fend off Hilla and Fernandez. But unfortunately, his engine says sayonara as well. It's really too bad because that's the best drive Nilsson's had in this car the entire season up to that point. Lap number 55, this is Adam Hackman running in 8th, and he is coming up on Robin DeVos, who's driving in place of Giovanni Centorami. Heading into the last turn here. And Robin gets it a little bit wrong there and runs into the dirt. We've seen that before. And there goes Hackman into 7th place. Great drive. Lap number 73. This is Rob DeVries, another of the Reg Parnell entries, heading through the sand dune section. But yet another BRM engine bites the dust. He has to run off into the grass here. That's really too bad, especially that late in the race. But gets the car out of harm's way quickly. Lap number 78. And this is Fernandez and Hilla together, running 3rd and 4th respectively. And Fernandez wants to get on that podium. It's really amazing to me that Fernandez can be this competitive in this car. I guess it says a lot for his racecraft and for his preparation and just his general talent, because he's extracting more from these cars than I've been able to get out of him, than DeVries has been able to get out of them. It's rather interesting. Heading through Tarzan here, still following Hilla. Ooh, my goodness. Fernandez gets very loose, and Hilla gets loose. Oh, my goodness. That was nearly a collision. Let's look at it again from a replay, and man, that was really, really close. It would not have been cool to end the race on a note like that. Thankfully, both of them are okay. Now we're into the final lap of the Dutch Grand Prix. And this is your leader, Juha Boss, entering Tarzan for the last time. And if you look behind him there, you'll see the pole sitter, David Watman, running in 2nd place. And it appears that Juha is on his way to his 2nd win in this series. The first win for him came at the Belgian Grand Prix. That was his home race. As he now heads into the sand dune section, there's David Watman. And credit to David, he never let Juha get very far away. Kept him in his sights most of the race. It'll be interesting to see how the points shake out after we finish this race, because, again, key players were not in this race, among them Centorami, so we may see a shuffling of the standings. Again, this is a really fun track to drive. It's almost like a roller coaster through here. Just the rhythm of the turns and the slight banking that they have. Juha can see victory just a few corners ahead, and it looks like he may be letting up just a shade as they enter the last turn here. Let's have a look at how they exit. And yeah, he is. I think he's let up just a little bit, not to the point where it's going to put his win in danger, but here they come down to the strike. And there's the checkered flag. Juha Boss wins the Dutch Grand Prix. David Watman finishes in 2nd. Great drive for these gentlemen, both of them. And here comes Ruben Fernandez in 3rd place. He's going to complete the podium for Reg Parnell Racing. Fantastic result in this car. Great drive by Ruben. He's very happy. You can tell by the way he's weaving back and forth. And here is Tim Hille. He's going to bring his car across the line in 4th place. Good result. And thankfully did not have a collision on the next to last lap. This is John Team. He's going to finish in 5th place, it appears. He's got a little ways to go before he gets to the line. And John, of course, streams the race from his cockpit, so I'm sure that's an exciting watch if any of you have been looking at that previously. One more turn to go, and he'll take 5th place. Here he comes. Crosses the line, takes 5th. And this is 6th place Adam Hackman, already in the garage. 7th was Robin DeVos, just out of the points. 8th was David Saber in a recovery drive after he had damage. And then the last car that was running was Gerard Riant in 9th. Great result for him. So let's take a look at the points now, and it did shake things up. Yuha Boss and David Watman are tied with 25 at the top. Centurami drops to 3rd with 22. Tim Hille in 4th with 17. John Team in 5th with 16. And then Nicholas Kirsten still has 11. Going to the manufacturer's points, Ferrari still in the lead, 32 points. BRM and Lotus Climax tied with 25. Brabham Climax in 4th with 18. Cooper Climax in 5th with 16. And then Lotus BRM has 7 points. Going back to the trivia question, which constructor holds the record for the most Dutch Grand Prix wins? With 8. Is it A, Ferrari? Is it B, Lotus? Or is it C, McLaren? Time is up. Really could be any of those three when you think about it, but if you answered Ferrari, you are correct. 52, 53, 61, 71, 74, 77, 82, and 83 were those wins. Coming up at ISO, round 7 of this series, the German Grand Prix from the Nürburgring. This should be a hoot, and there will be highlights following after the race. It's Sunday, April 5th. Race starts at 2000 CEST. Remember, European summertime begins before that race. So thanks so much for watching this highlights package of the Dutch Grand Prix. Hope to see you on our next highlights package. This is Jason White saying everybody take care and be safe.